Chapter 14, verse 10. When Pharaoh drew near, the people of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they feared greatly. And the people of Israel cried out to the Lord. So, it's like, if a force comes down this, I would be able to see them quite a distance away. Now, there is a little bit flatter, and it's not, they wouldn't have had these kind of high viewpoints. But with that kind of force coming, chariots, you would have seen a lot of dust. Now, that would have as well been a clear sign. The more dust, and the dust rises, so depending on the wind and all of those kinds of things, understandably. And it'll be... And that would have been a lot bigger. That would have been kind of a giveaway that there's this force coming. Maybe they were expecting it. It was like still too good to be true. How they were set free and all the stuff that they got away with, and now this bee really wants to eat me. I'm just kidding. Anyhow, so it would have been like, oh wow, how is this possible? No, bee, go chase him. They're over there. Right? So how is this possible? We can't even imagine how we got away with, not just with our lives, but all the stuff we have. And now we are free. There's something, there must still be something. Maybe Pharaoh let us go to, that he can come and kill all of us here in the desert. That's kind of what they're going to say soon. So they saw, and the Egyptians marching after them. Now they were not kind of marching because they were coming with chariots. And they were afraid. Right? God didn't take them up by the sea not to face the smaller people groups up in that area, because they would have been afraid. And now this bigger army is coming up. Now you can as well ask, so why did God allow for that? Wouldn't this going and facing a smaller army be a lesser of a problem than facing the bigger army? Now God had a plan here at work. And the facing of the smaller army immediately would have been ultimately just a way of an excuse for them to moan about not going this area. But in this case now, God can show the final. And there's a final nail in the coffin for the Egyptians. Because remember, if they went that way, yes, they could have defeated. They would have lost their own soldiers. They would have made life so much easier for the Pharaoh to just bring them back. So much easier. So there was one huge army that God had to, not just the firstborn, but there was an army that God had to get rid of. And this is ultimately what's going to happen here. So they cried out to the Lord. Verse 11. They said to Moses, "Is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us in bringing us out of Egypt?" Now it's like, no graves in Egypt. Man, their children were thrown into the Nile. The boys, as they're like, so many of them died there. No graves there? No, sure, there were lots of graves, but when you are in a situation like this, you don't always think rationally. It's like, it's going to be a lot worse here, and you all forget about all the bad that was over there, or even the worst that was over there. You're just now thinking of, this current situation, right? Yeah, when you are in a bad situation, you forget about the good of the past, and you just think always everything is now so bad. God never helps you. Like there's never even any kind of a good in your life idea, right? And so this is what they're not thinking. Taking out, you brought us here all the way so that we can come and die over here. It would have been better for us to just stay out there. Why the heck did you bring us out? Pharaoh is now angry at us for everything after all these plagues. Just imagine how harsh our lives are going to be now. He's just going to massacre us. Verse 12. Is this not what we have said to you in Egypt? Leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians. For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. It would have been, we told you just let us be. We didn't want to get out. Yes, our life was bad and everything, but it was better before you came. It was bad, but it was better before you came. And now, right, you could have just left us there, serve the Egyptians, be their slaves. Now, where would that have led, right? There's always a question, yes, now you're serving in such a way, but that guy has ultimate power of you. Where is he going to lead you? Where is he going to take you further? Where will things ultimately end? But you know, again, they're not thinking rationally. They're just thinking at the moment, the spur of the moment. Those guys are coming for us. We are here in the wilderness. No protection. Sea before us. Pharaoh behind us. The end. Okay? What can we ultimately do here? Verse 13. And Moses said to the people, fear not. Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. For the Egyptians, whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. So Moses didn't run off to God like he did the previous time and moan and groan. No, he spoke with the people and he told them that they need not fear. They need to stand firm. They're not going to fight, right? Up there, if they would have gone that way, they would have had to fight. In this case, they're not going to fight because God is going to fight for them, right? They will see the work of God. And these Egyptians that now see, these Egyptians that now fear, these Egyptians will ultimately be taken away. They will never be seen again. Not just in 3 months' time will they come again, or 6 months' time will they come again. No, the back of the camel is to be broken. They will be taken fully out of the picture. How will this happen? Because God, the Lord, Yahweh, is the covenant name, is going to fight for them. All they need to do, not moan and groan, but be silent. And that is so difficult for us, and it was so difficult for them to just be silent.